This is your beloved Minister Austin Smith with ZMR Radio on the Wake Up Call. Wake up. Wake up. It's high time.
All right, we do always rise, giving all the kabod and the kabobs, the glory and the honor to the Most High Yah, through his being Yahusha HaMashiach. Truly grateful. Thankful for this Yom, thankful for this opportunity, thankful for life, health, and strength, but most importantly, thankful for a mind to know him. The writings tell us eternal life to know him, even Yahusha HaMashiach, whom he sent. And one thing for sure, a lot of people out here living, but they're not going to obtain eternal life. The only way to get it is through the knowledge that we get through the writings. Even coming up here, ironically enough, there was a lady outside trying to get in, but she wasn't allowed to come in. And I think that that's something that we'll see and we'll walk right past it, but we don't take into mind the gravity of what just happened right before your eyes. Matter of fact, go ahead and get me Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Listen to the book.
For whatever Nikatab before, Nikatab Talamidas.
For whatever things were written aforetime were written to teach us.
So that through endurance,
going through without quitting,
and through the Nakumath of the Ketubim, we might have Tikva.
So the thing is if for not just for that lady, but anybody, if they don't get the writings, if they don't get the word, then two things can't happen. One, they'll never be able to come like them. And then two, they'll never get the encouragement that they would have gotten through the writings. So now when they see things that happen, I mean, what's keeping them from fainting? What are you using to hold on? What are you using to validate your stance? Absolutely nothing. You just going and you just living. The thing is when we come in to hear the word, that gives us a chance to understand our true purpose, to be able to understand the gravity of the situation. I think a lot of times we take things so lightly and we don't really consider the privilege that we have. I mean, this is truly a privilege and an honor to be able to come before this man to worship him. The writers tell you about Yahushua came to his own and his own received him not. And the thing is that was a time. There was a time where he tried to give people the opportunity to learn about him, to come unto him, and they didn't come. Now the thing is, you have people who are trying to come now and they're being rejected. What stopped that from being your situation? What stopped that from us being the people that are on the outside? The thing is that lady was outside trying to get in, right? I walked right past her. Matter of fact, I don't even think I opened the door for myself. Do you realize that when you come to the door, somebody else opens the door for you? Majority of the time, somebody opens the door for you, while there are others, you can't even make your way to touch the door. Somebody stopped you before you can even get in to tell you, listen, at this time right now, we're not taking visitors for whatever reason. And the thing is, the reality of it, I'm trying not to say the thing is, so I'm trying to be more cognitive of it. But the reality of it is, that could have been us. No one of us have a guarantee that you're going to be able to just come in. How do you know the next time you come, he's not going to have somebody stopping you and saying, you can't come? And the problem is, we come so customarily that it might not, because you might feel so freely to be able to come, he might just stop you with moot. So now because of the reason of moot, you can't even come and hear the word. So the thing that you have to take into consideration of, not only has he given me the privilege of life, he's given me the privilege of the opportunity to be coming to hear his word. And then not only just to be able to come into the room, but also to be able to get an understanding. Because if I'm coming in, I'm hearing the word, but it's not doing anything for me, then I just wasted time. I just wasted an hour, 30 minutes, or however long you in here, you just wasted time if you're not getting what it is you came to get. Get me Yahuah chapter 12 and verse 35. It's truly a barak and an honor. And, there's a lot of places that I had in my mind, but I do Yahuah for direction. Because the thing that I even have to come into the consideration of is I don't have no guarantee. There is no guarantee for the preacher. Do you realize that all the work that any preacher does, and a lot of times I'll reference preacher back because I'm kind of new to the ministry. So, I don't think like if I say it for me, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. You do anyway. But you look at a person like preacher who had a long track record. So that's why I reference it back. Because then if you look at, if I say, yeah, even I can go to Sheol, you be like, yeah, I'm not so far removed from being in Qatar. But you look at a man like preacher, I say, even preacher can burn and go to Sheol. You be like, man, that's tight. I really have to be more mindful of what it is that I'm coming to hear. I really have to be more mindful of what my estate is. And then not only just having an estate, but being able to maintain that estate. Go ahead and give me that. Yahuah, they call it the book of John, chapter 12 and verse 35. Listen to the book.
Yahushua said to them, the Yahuah shall be with you only for a little while.
This Yahushua telling them this. The man who was the light. We just talked about this last night. This man was the light, and he's telling them what? What did he say? You're going to have it always.
The Ur shall be with you only for a little while.
It's only for a little while. I'm not going to be with you forever. So what did he tell him to do?
Halak while you still have the Ur.
He told him to walk while you still have the Yahuah. The thing is, the reality of it is that if I have the light, then there's no occasion of stumbling because I don't have anything there's nothing hidden from me. I can clearly see the obstacles that are before me. So that's the same thing that happened with the writings. The writings come in to be able to tell you the obstacles, the things that might try to come in and get you to stumble on your walk. Yep. So that's the whole purpose why he told you walk while you have the Yahuah. So now I'm not going to falter. I'm not going to stumble. There's not going to be anything that's going to be in my way because I see all my obstacles. So if I see the obstacles, I can avoid them. I can step over them. I can simply avoid. Said that in the song. Come on.
Lest Kashak shall overtake you.
Because the thing that we have to see is if we allow the obstacles to be in our way, that's the equivalent of those things overtaking us. A wall is just a wall, but if that wall hinders me from getting to where I'm trying to go, then it's now overtaking me because now it has stopped me from fulfilling the will that I have. I'm submitting to its will. That's just like the officer. Any officer that come in and try to tell you, stop, freeze, I want to keep going. So when you tell me to stop, when you're telling me to do whatever it is you're telling me to submit to your will. So now I'm being overtaken. My will is overtaken. That's why when Yahusha, he was getting ready to suffer, he said, well, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. Because I need his will to overtake my will. Because the will of the flesh was what? The will of the flesh was for me, well, I mean, not with him, not in his situation. The will of his flesh was, I want to live. Right. But the thing is, the thing that we do is, the will of our flesh is to go out to Qatar. Right. So if he was in the mind of, I need to submit to his will. I need to submit to Yahuwah's will and not to the will of my flesh. That's the same thing that we have to take into the mindset of. Yeah, it's going to come with suffering. Yeah, it's going to come with some things we're not going to like. But look at what he got on the other side. He got a malkuth. So what happened if we submit to his will? We'll also get a malkuth. Yeah, we might suffer. We might lose some things, but look at what we're getting on the other side. Go ahead. Listen to the book.
The one who Halak in the Kashak does not know where he is going. While you still have the Ur, a man in the Ur, so that you may become Beni of Ur.
So this is the thing that you look at. A son is naturally going to follow the pattern of his father. So the thing that we have to realize is if we're following the light, then we take on the same behaviors of the light. So now when you see me, you see the light. So that's just a similitude of me becoming the Benim of Yahuah because I'm doing the same works of my father. If my father was light and I do the works of light, then that's make me the seed of him. Right. Come on.
Yahushua spoke these Dabarim and went and was hidden from their Pani.
So the thing is, guess what? When he first talked to them, they were right there with him. And he said that he was there. But now the light has been hidden from them. So now, what do I have to do? And now I got to do one or two things. Either one, I got to live based off of what it was that I heard when I had the light. Or two, I'm just going to be lost in darkness. Because now, what am I going to do? What are we going to do when it comes down to a time where the bar is not readily available to you, when you don't have the access to be able to come in and hear the word anymore? That's why a lot of times you see people that have been here, then they leave, or they get kicked out, and guess what happened? The life gets worse and worse. You know why? Because there was a time where they had the light. And the thing is, regardless of whatever the issue was, they had a belief based upon what they heard at that time. They believed that the bar that they were hearing was right. But then when they go out and leave, it could be something, a simple issue. But what happens is because they're no longer in the light, it's because they're no longer having the opportunity to hear the dabarim of Yahuah. Ooh, I don't know why that was so hard to say. Goodness. Because they don't have the opportunity to come before him to hear the dabarim of Yahuah, they go out and now they become overtaken and consumed with darkness, and their life get worse and worse. I never had a problem with anything else prior to this situation, but now, because of a small situation, now everything wrong. Now everything don't matter. And that's because now I allow myself to be overtaken by the darkness. Come on.
There were many odds that he did in their own, but despite this, they did not among in him.
So this is the other part that you have to look at. Not only is that lady in a position, but also the people that come in and they hear it. They hear it in the bar. They're seeing the things that have been done. They've seen things being done. There are things that preacher has done, and you've seen him palaw, and you've seen things actually move, things actually happen for you. You'll be like, you know what, preacher, can you palaw for me? And I know it only happened because of the palaw, because you asked and you sought the Father, and the Father gave things and allowed things to be able to move. I never forget when my wife was in the hospital both times. The very first time she was getting ready to move, and there was a time where I was at mentally is before we even left. We probably won't be able to get to everything I wanted to where my mind is, but how do you? Who we go as he sees fit. But before we even left to go into the hospital, all that night, for whatever reason, it just troubled me. It was hard to get a good rest. It really troubled me because the thing I kept having the feeling of was that was the night where Yahuah was going to come back and afflict me for all the things that I had done against him. So even when I woke up, I remember I woke up and I was just sitting on the bed, just facing the closed window, and I'm just sitting there because I'm just like, I don't know how it's gonna be. He could take Naara, because that's the one who was about to get born. I said he could take Brittany. I said I don't know which one it's gonna be, but I felt like one of them was gonna die that day, if not both of them. So that day it just troubled me. It troubled me bad, so much so we about to get ready to leave. And I told my mom, I was like, wake my dad up for me. So I called him out. And I was like, Dad, you do me a favor? I said, can you palal with us before we leave? And he was like, son, I'm always palal. He's like, I'm always praying. And I was like, no. I said, no, this is a little bit different. But I didn't fully communicate to him what it was that I had, the feeling that I had in this moment. But I was like, I need you to palal and ask him, because in my mind, I know that this is gonna be a night where he's gonna test me. And the thing is, it wasn't so much to ask him to remove it, but what I try to having the mindset of is I don't ask him to remove the situation, but to keep me through the situation and allow the situation not to overtake me. But anyway, so I asked Prisha to palal, and he palal in the moment. So then we went out and left. But it didn't allow my mind to say, well, I'm good now. My mind was, if he decided to still take one of them, I still got to be good with this man, regardless of how you see fit and how you see fit to move. So anyway, we go. She's having the baby. And she just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. So the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm not saying anything because I'm in my mind, I didn't communicate this to the other people in the room, but I'm like, my mind was already set for this could be the day he can come back and he can afflict me for all the things I've done against him. Because this is what I look at. There was a lot of things that I had did having the knowledge of the Debar. Even though we might get a greater knowledge now, there should be a greater punishment for the things that we do against Yahuah with the level of knowledge that we currently have. Because the thing is, I can't give you a punishment that I'm going to give somebody who don't know, because they didn't know. But when you know and you continue to do something contrary, what kind of punishment should we get? I got to give you a greater punishment, so that way, you'll turn, but that way others will fear. Because if people see you committing kata, see you doing things against Yahuah, and he don't do nothing against you, what's going to make them fear? What's going to make them turn and consider? Nothing. So I said, this man, he got to afflict me. And then being so close to the Debar and being so far removed at the same time, I'm just like, I know he going to come back and get me. I just don't know how. I don't know how bad it's going to be. I don't know when he going to stop it. That's why even you look at a man like Dawood, how he did all that fasting and palal, because it's like, who knows exactly when it's going to stop? Yeah, his son was how his sin got removed, but look at how it continued to keep going on. That thing went all the way down to Yahusha. How many generations were in between his son and Yahusha, who came in to really be the son that died for his transgressions, and even ours? But yet we still do things contrary. And matter of fact, you know what? We'll change again. Get me the book of Aleph Malakim. Should be Aleph Malakim, chapter 15 and verse 5. But anyway, the point that I was getting to is, even that very first time, I remember a preacher was talking to me, he was trying to comfort me, and I was like, I didn't need words of comfort, you know what I mean? Because I know what I did. You know what I mean? So it ain't like I'm doing something, I'm wondering, well, why Yahuah afflicting me? I know what I did. Just as sure as he know what I did, I know what I did. I know how much stuff I done contrary to this man. I'd be a fool to sit around and wonder like, oh man, why is Yahuah afflicting me? Why is Yahuah giving me such great tribulation? Because of the stuff that you've done. Right. You've done things contrary to me. That's why I'm punishing you. Then kids would be like, oh man, my parents hate me. No, I hate what it is that you're doing. Why don't you hate what you're doing enough that you don't do it no more? I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to get you to turn from your wicked behavior. Why aren't you the bad guy? Because you keep doing wickedness. I called you to our Or, and you don't even want to do that. The reason why you won't come to the Or is because you are hopped in darkness. That's what he told you in the 3rd chapter of the book of Yahuah about verse 19. He told you that they didn't even come to the light. You know why? Because then their deeds would be reproved. That's correction. Then we read it the other week. What was the scripture given for? For correction, for reproof, instruction in Sadiq. The whole writing that you got was for you to get correction. So the thing is, if I hate correction, then how am I ever going to get right? I can't, because I'm never going to come to the thing that was given to get me correct. Go ahead, get me that Aleph Malakim, chapter 15 and verse 5. Listen to the book.
Because Dawood did what was Sadiq in the own of Yahuah, and had not turned aside from anything that he commanded him, all the Amim of his Kaid, except in the matter of Uriah the Hittite.
What happened with that matter of Uriah the Hittite? What happened? My son died. Death came into play because of what it was that I did. That death affected me so much that I won't even go contrary to him no more. So the thing that we have to come into the mindset of is, why do we keep doing things contrary? His son, get me Romans chapter 1:1. Let's just see. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold it back today. The thing is, because it really, the thing is, it's not even so much just for you. It's for me. Really, I've come to get such a great appreciation for the fact that, I have really been a wicked man. Y'all don't know. I'm telling you, y'all don't know. I've been a wicked man. And this man has saw fit to spare my life and give me this opportunity. It's not even enough the fact that he's given me, okay. It's not even just the fact that he's giving me life, but he's giving me a chance to take on Alam Kai, because it's eternal life to know him. So the fact that he's allowing me to be able to take a chance to be able to get a glimpse at who he is, and then use that to be able to become like him. Now I can take on Alam Kai. Now I can become the Benim of Yahuah. I can become one of his sons through the stuff that I learned. That's such a great opportunity that we've all been given. I'd be a fool to let it go to waste. Come on, Romans chapter 1:1. Listen to the book.
Shaul, a abad of Yahusha HaMashiach, called to be in Shalach and set apart to the tube news of Elohim, which he shabba in advance through his Naba'im in the Kadash Kitabim, concerning the debar of his Ben, who came of a seed of Daoud according to the Basar.
He's talking about Yahusha. Yahusha was the Ben of Daoud. This was the son that really died for Daoud's transgressions. Not only for his, but for ours also. This son died, right? And because of the death of Daoud's son, Daoud set it in purpose in his life that he wouldn't go contrary to what Yahuah had told him against anything else. But the thing is, we have seen that our sins have led to the death of a child, and we'll still go contrary. How? Why did that death not afflict and affect us the way that it did Daoud? That's because of the love that he had for the son. He had so much of a love for the son that he afflicted himself and he fasted. The thing is, I'm fasting from things that I naturally desire. I naturally desire and need the food and the drink that I eat and I drink. But the thing that I desire greater than that was for the life of the son. Right. So let's look at this. Now, why do we go and commit sin? Because these are things that our flesh naturally desire. Right. We talked about last week that taste and desire. We have a taste and desire for things that are contrary to life. And so instead of us fasting from the things that are contrary, we end up fasting from him. Yeah. So now, guess what? If I continue to fast from eating and drinking, eventually you know what's going to happen? I'm going to die. Yeah. Everybody who fasted, the fast got to stop at some point. Yahusha fasted for 40 days. And guess what happened? After so long, he had to come back and eat again. Now, Satan tried to tempt him and get him to turn the stones into lakam. But the thing that he also had the mind of is, guess what? I'm not going to eat that, but I'm going to eat something. Right. Matter of fact, you know what else? He fasted. That's not the only fast he did. He also fasted for 3 days and 3 nights. Yeah. And you know what happened when he got up? Not only that, he went and ate with them. Yeah. He said, have you any meat? And he ate broiled fish and honey. He ate with them. You know why? Because I'm hungry. My flesh is naturally desiring these things. Yeah. When I was fasting, I died. I was in death when I was fasting. Now that I have life, I'm eating because these things aided me in my life. So the similitude of that, how we have to look at it is what will happen if we fast from him? If we're going after the things that are contrary to life, then we're eating death, so we're fasting from life. Right. So if I fast from life, how can I live? I can't live. I can't live separating myself from the thing that came to give life. Yeah. That's just like trying to be in darkness. The same thing, it'll work itself back around, but the same thing happens when we stay in darkness. As long as we're abiding in darkness, we can't take on life. We talked about it before in the first chapter of the book of Barashit. When Yahuah first came into the Elam, what was it? Darkness, it was void, and nothing was there. There was no substance there until what happened? Until light came. Now when light comes, life can develop based off of the light. So if we don't have the light, how can we get life? We can't get life if we don't get the light. That's why the word that was in him, that was life for us. That was the light of men. You know why it was the light of men? Because you have light in you, you can take on life. Things can develop in you. Fruit, pari can come from your words. Based upon the word. If you don't have the word, you don't have no life. If you don't have no life, it's because you don't have no light. That's why the word was light. All these things work together to be able to give you life. So that way something can produce from you. So that way you don't have to be bored. He told you that he would not that you should be ignorant. You know why? Because that'll make you void. That'll make you without form. If I'm formed and built by the word, then guess what? I have a structure. I have a form. I have a system working within me. But if I don't have the word, then I'm void. I'm just like the borrowed sheet in the beginning. I'm darkness. And the whole purpose of why he gave us light was to drive out the darkness. That's why in the 3rd chapter of the book, Yahuah, he told you that when light came in, darkness didn't overtake it. You know why? Because the darkness don't even know nothing. You don't even know, you don't understand, you don't even understand how to be able to overtake the light. That's why you can't do it. Come on, what I got you holding? Romans chapter 1?
Yes, sir.
What was that, 1 and 2?
Yeah, I was at 3.
1 and 3? That's fine. Jump me back over to Yahuah chapter 12. What verse I had you at?
We read 38.
Yahuah chapter 12 and verse 39. They call it the book of St. John. Listen to the book.
For this reason, they were not able to amon, because again, Yeshayahu said, he has blinded their own, and he hardened their lob, or else they may see with their own, and their lob may banah, and they may return, and they shall be healed.
Don't you know that healing also comes from the light? You know they got some things, they tell you some sickness you can have, they tell you need to do? Go out and sit in the sun. Because it's healing that comes from me being able to see the light. The same thing happened with the word. I get healing based upon my understanding and the revealing of the word, based upon the revelation. So if I don't get the revelation, I don't get the power that comes from the sun, I can't never change my state. Come on.
Yeshayahu spoke like this when he saw his kabul and Nabah sent about him. However,
he the bored about this man. Come on.
However, even many other Sharim among him, but on account of the Parashim, they did not admit it, so that they would not be banished. For they ahaba the kabul of Anashim to them more than the kabul of Elohim.
That's the thing that stops a lot of us. You know what? Because the thing that we have to realize is doing these things that are life-giving are contrary to darkness. So if I'm doing things that are conducive to light, it's not conducive to darkness. So now I don't fit in. So in order for us to fit in with darkness, we have to do what? Become darkness. I have to take on a part of it so that way I can blend in with it.
Right.
So that's the thing that stops us from being able to fully possess everything, all of the benefits of light. You know why? Because we want to fit in. We want to fit. That's why he told you. Akim Mormon told you, if I yet please man, I should not be the abad of Elohim. You know why? Because I can't serve two masters. If I'm going to be with the benim of darkness, I'm going to have to serve who you serve. I'm going to have to do what you do. If I'm going to be the benim of Yahuah, I'm going to have to serve who they serve and do what they do. But I can't do both. I can't be a part-time lover. I can't be light sometimes and I'm darkness the other time. It don't work. Be one way. Come on.
And Yahushua Yakra out and said, the one who amon in me does not amon in me, but the one who shalak me.
He said, the one that believe in me don't believe in me, but the one that sent me. Guess what? You know what? I'd be a fool to go out there and worship the physical shemash, to go out and worship the physical element of the sun. You know why? It didn't make itself. You know, in the what's that? The third chapter of the book of Iberine, called the book of Hebrews. It shows you that the builder was worthy more honor than the house itself. You know why? So why would I go out and worship the thing that was built by somebody else? I'd be a fool. Why not worship the creator of all?
Right.
If he made it, if I look at it and I look at its brilliance and I say this is something that's magnificent, then what brilliance does the builder have? Right. Because I had to be able to visualize and say, let me make this thing and let me put this thing to be a benefit for you. So I'd be a fool to worship the man. That's why even people that come in, they might worship their pastor. Oh yeah, they do all types of crazy stuff. Let me give everything. And then they're false people that they do this stuff to. It's never nobody who do it, anybody true. You know why? Because That's something that people struggle with. People struggle with that total submission. Naturally, we struggle with that. But when it's something that's wrong, we'll totally submit to that. We'll go all the way with something that's wrong. But the thing is, if we have something that is of true brilliance and is true, that's truly like, man, this is magnificent. I could never create or do anything to this magnitude. Why not give the caboose to the one that made it? Mm-hmm. I formulated and I made this thing and I gave it for you. You should be worshiping me. Yeah. I'm the one worthy of more honor than that. Yahuah caused the light to come into the alarm. Right. So why would the alarm be worshiping the sun? Right. Worship the one that made him. Yeah. That's why Yahusha telling you right now, he said, yeah, I'm magnificent. I'm truly a work of art, but guess what? I didn't make myself. Right. He made me. Yeah. Come on.
The one who sees me sees the one who shalak me.
When you see me, you see him. Because the only reason why I'm shining is based upon him. Mm-hmm. So guess what? When people go out and they see you, guess what they should be seeing? Mm-hmm. They should be seeing him. Now, if they don't see him, where does the fault lie at? Us. The fault lie in us because we're not shining properly. If only thing that you see when you see me is you see me, and you think, oh yeah, this is just because of me, I'm not showing you the right thing, or I'm not truly shining the way I need to be shining. Mm-hmm. Come on.
I have come into the alarm to be Yahuah.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you how that worked. Because I made a statement, I want to make sure I clarify it. The thing that people didn't realize is that Yahusha was the Ben of Elohim, right? But guess what happened when he got his true kabod? He died. And you know what they said when he got back up? Surely this is the Ben of Elohim. You know why? Because they knew that based upon the work that he had done, nobody said, man, you know what? This is magnificent right here. We need to just worship Yahusha. No. This is the Ben Elohim, because no man can do these things except to be given to him from the Abba. Yeah. So guess what? Because of his brilliance, because of the works, because of the things that he exemplified, they were able to recognize that he had been given a gift, not just for himself, not a gift that he gave himself, but from Yahuah. Mm-hmm. He knew that every good and perfect gift came from him. So I knew that the power that you got is because of him. So even though I'm looking at you, it's only giving me a reason to be able to give more kabod to the Father, because he gave it to you. Come on.
So that everyone who aman in me shall not dwell in Kashab. Mm-hmm. The one who shama my dabarim and does not keep them, it is not I that shall shafit them, because I have not come to shafit the alarm, but to save the alarm. Mm-hmm.
That's the whole purpose of why the sun came. The sun, the alarm, the world was in darkness. It was void. But through the light, it became to take on life. I saved you. You take on life based upon me, based upon the Father putting me in the alarm. Come on. What verse is that?
I'm starting verse 48 now.
That's fine. Matter of fact, you know what else? Lee told you, if not for the Yahuah, Yahuah would have been blown it away. You only get light based upon what? Based upon Yahuah putting me here. Come on.
He who rejects me and does not receive my saying, there is one who shall shafit him. Mm-hmm. The debar that I have spoken shall shafit him on that last yom. Mm-hmm. For I have not spoken from my lab, rather Abi himself who shalak me commanded me what to say and what I should speak.
The brilliance that comes from me, it didn't come from me alone. I didn't do this on my own. Yahuah put this in me. Yahuah caused me to be able to shine and exemplify. So the thing that we have to realize is if we're coming in and hearing the word, to what value is it if we're not shining and exemplifying him? Mm-hmm. At that point, we wasted time. We might as well be stopped at the door and say, go back, because nothing's coming from you. What benefit does he get from you? Yahusha's works that he did all gave kabod to the Father. Right. What is he getting from you? Mm. So what reason would there be for him to continue to keep allowing you to come in and hear the bar? Because what is it doing for you? You're not shining. You're not reflecting anything. Mm-hmm. You're not overcoming the darkness. The darkness overtaking you. Mm-hmm. Come on. And then to further clarify what I said earlier about how Yahuah was keeping them because of the people, guess what happened in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah? He couldn't destroy it until Lut left. Right. So guess what? The whole time that Lut was there, what was happening? I spared you because of the man that was there. That's right. You were only being kept based upon him being there. That's right. That's the same reason why. Guess what? There's going to come a day of destruction, and y'all want to be destroyed? Mm-mm. So guess what you're going to need to have inside of you? You're going to need to have Yahusha in you. You need to have the light in you. That's how you're going to be kept and spared from the destruction. Right. The same thing that happened to them. Right. As soon as he left, what happened? Destroyed it. He destroyed it. They were burned. They were consumed. Mm-hmm. Guess what's going to happen if you allow his light to leave you? If you allow darkness to overtake you? If you allow his word to leave you? You're going to be destroyed with fire. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that is? I've already told you everything I was going to do, and I gave you an example of what you were going to need and what you're going to need to do in order to escape the destruction. So if you really wanted to escape the destruction, I would be minded to say, let me make sure that I learn at the bar. Maybe let me make sure that I also retain it. Yep. I want my sins to be forgiven, but I need the bar, I need his ruach to be retained inside of me. I need that thing to be kept so that way I can be kept.
That's right.
Come on.
Ayada, that his commandment is Alam Kai. Thus, in
his
all
writings are Alam Kai. I know that his writings, it's eternal life to know this man. If his writings are eternal life, but I don't know the writings, what am I going to get? It makes no sense that I can get eternal life and not know the writings.
Right.
Come on.
Thus, in all that I speak, just as Abi has said to me, so I speak. It's the last verse.
Jump over and get me, read that last verse again real quick.
Ayada, that his commandment is Alam Kai. Thus, in all that I speak, just as Abi has said to me, so I speak.
Just as the Father gave it to me, that's how I speak. You know why? Because I couldn't do it on my own. He has to give it to me.
That's right.
So now when I hear what it is that he said, what do I have to do? I got to walk in it. I got to hold on to it. Get me Aleph Barnabas, chapter 6 and 12. Other brother, get me 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and 1. Give me that 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and 1 first. Listen to the book.
Furthermore, my Akeem, we call up on you and exhort you in our Adon Yahushua.
What's that exhort? I'm warning you. Furthermore, Akeem, I'm warning you. Don't you know every time that the word is being brought forth by the Ra'ah, by whoever the spokesman is that he put forth to give you the debar, it's the debar of warning, it's the debar of exhortation, so that way you can get a life and not destruction. Every time you hear in the debar, it's going to do either one or two things. Either one, it's going to be used to save you or it's going to be used to condemn you. But the only way to validate what it is it's going to do is based upon what you do. The debar is what the debar is going to be. But the only way for you to change what it is for you to make changes according to the debar. Because if I hear the debar and the debar of life is given and I do things contrary with the life, then that now the debar of life becomes a debar of eternal damnation. A debar of eternal condemnation based upon what I do when I hear it. Come on.
That as you received from us how to halak.
He said you going to get it on your own.
That as you received from us how to halak.
You couldn't even get it on your own. That's why he put the sun into the alarm. Guess why? Because without what he gave to give the light, you were darkness. You were nothing. You were nothing until he saw fit to give you to the bar. That's the same thing that happened for us. You were nothing before you got the light. You were nothing before you got to the bar. But because I gave you something, now you can become something. And now, guess what you're going to have to do in order to really become something? Walk according to it. That's why Yahushua told him, walk in the light. Why you what? Why you have it? Come on.
And to find the Khan in the of Elohim as you halak also.
So this thing is guess what? There was Khan in the fact that Yahuwah saw fit to put all these things furnished into the alarm. So without it, you were nothing because you had no favor. Why would I favor something that has no value? It has no substance. If you can't do anything for me, then what am I going to get out of you? But because I had favor on you, now you take on life. Now you embellish. Now you be able to take on things that continue on and on. Come on.
So you should abound and so multiply more. For you know that the commandments which we gave you by the Shem of the Adon Yahushua. For this is the Rashon of Elohim, your Kodash, that you should abstain from fornication, that every each of you know how to possess his own vessel in Kodash and in Kabul.
So the thing is guess what? Everything that I do that's contrary to the word is just like darkness. That's why he named out all these things. He told you, furthermore, as you received of us, how ye ought to walk. Dawood told you in the 118th division of Tahalim, I think it's verse 105. He told you that his debar was a light unto his path and a lamp unto his feet. You know why? Because that's showing me how I ought to walk. The thing is, guess what? We might look at it and say, you know what? I want him to be a light unto our path and a lamp unto my feet. I want him to shine. Show me, okay, which way I need to go now? Which way I need to go now? You don't have a physical light that you're looking for to shine on you, but you got that through the word.
That's right.
Don't you know that every time you come in and you hear the debar, that's a light unto your path and a lamp unto your feet, because I'm showing you how you ought to walk. That's why he told you, furthermore, as you received of us, furthermore, through us, through the ones that he sent to bring forth the debar, you now have a light unto your path and a lamp unto your feet. So if I have a light unto my path and a lamp unto my feet, how am I faltering and stumbling? That's why he just told us to walk in, Yahusha told us to walk in Yahuah. Why you got it? You know why? Because now I'm not going to do things contrary to him. So this is what we have to realize. You know, we're getting ready to wrap it up because my phone's ringing again. But this is what we have to look at and be minded to do. Matter of fact, we read it before. We read it again. Get me Romans chapter 12 and verse 20. The thing is, the bar always always circles itself right back. Because it's all trying to give us something. It's always trying to give us how we ought to walk. And the thing is, we might feel like, you know, I'm good. I heard this all before. Why am I hearing it again? Because let's look at our state. The reason why you hear things repetitively about changing and being transformed is because you're constantly needing to be changed and transformed. Because regardless of the fact that how many times you heard it, you still go back to the things of darkness. You still go back and allow darkness to overtake you instead of you overtaking the darkness. Let's see what he told us in the 12th chapter of the book of Romans, verse 20. Listen to the book.
Therefore, if your enemy hungers, feed him lakam. If he thirsts, give him drink a ma'im. For in so doing, you shall heap coals of fire on his head.
That's 12 and 20?
Yes, sir.
Romans, what I said?
12 and 20.
Romans 12 and 20? Oh, man. I don't usually get stuck like that now. It should be Romans 12. What's the last chapter of the book of Romans?
It's 16.
16. Make it 16:20.
All right.
You know, Jack, he told me the other day, he was like, you know, you always talk about how your memory wasn't that good. He was like, but you know, you actually do a pretty good job up there. And I didn't notice it. You know why? Because I'm just going so much that you don't even realize that you start to remember stuff. But how do Yahuah? Because you know what? You know he'll come back and he'll humble you and make you realize. And you know what? I started thinking about that, and I told my wife, I was like, you know what? I didn't realize that my memory had gotten pretty good. But how do Yahuah? Because he'll come in and humble you and let you realize that wasn't of your own.
Right.
I did that. Yeah. Who you think gave you the word to speak? You know what? They marveled at the brilliance of Yahusha. You know what? He was 12. He was 12 years old, and he went into the Knesset. Guess what? They marveled at the fact that he was asking and answering questions. They looked at his brilliance and his understanding. Now, the thing is guess who that all came for? Yahusha. He didn't tell them that then, but later on he told you that. He told you that the word that he speak wasn't his, but they were the Father's. Right. The Father's the one who gave me the information to be able to speak to you. So you can look at me and feel like, oh man, it's brilliant, or look at the one who gave me the bar. Come on. Romans chapter 12 and verse 21. Listen to the book.
Please do not be conquered by Rosha, but you conquer Rosha with two.
So the thing is guess what we're going to have to use if we're going to overtake the darkness? The two. We're going to overtake the darkness with our light. So that's the whole purpose of why we keep coming in and hearing the bar. So that way it's arming us. We're getting weaponry so that we can overtake the things that try to come and overtake us. Not just so that way we can be an avenger, but that we can be a defender. Because it's not our time to be avenging or Rosha. Right now, our time to be able to defend the Sadiq he's putting in us, to be able to be kept by the body he's given us, using it as a weapon now, so that way I can fend off all the fiery darts of Satan. So that way I can make sure that when he tried to come in and darkness tried to get me to go back after the things that I formerly lusted after, go back after the things that I formerly desired, I don't allow myself to go after it anymore. You know why? Because my mindset is more set on what it is that I'm seeking desire on the other side. I'm seeking the kabud of Yahuah rather than the kabud of Anashim. That's why they were fearful. They were fearful to confess this man. They just like, you know what, yeah, he's good, but you know, I can't let nobody else know who I am. That's the saying that a lot of stuff happened to us. Even with the kids, you can see it more visibly, and you'll tell your kids, you know, you can't let yourself do that. But then we'll go out and we'll be overtaken with darkness. So the thing is, what do they see with us? We're trying to tell them not to do something that we're doing. I'm trying to tell you, make sure you stand, you know, you can't do what them folks do in school. You can't eat the Halloween candy, you can't do this stuff, but I'll take on some of the sins. But I'll feel like I'm okay because nobody else knows. My stuff is more hidden. And I'll try to correct my kids, but what does it do for me? I'm contrary. That makes as much sense to the preacher trying to correct the people and he overtaken with sin. How am I trying to command you to do something that I ain't doing? That's why the man himself has to be walking by the bar. That way, when I give you the Yahuah through the bar, you can say, hey, I've seen you do it. I've seen you exemplify it. I know what it yielded for you. That's why Yahusha came through and he lived, and everything he did was according to the bar. That's why he even told you the words he speak wasn't his, but they were his Father's. He letting you know it's not by me alone. I'm doing everything according to the Father. And everything he did according to the Father got him what? got him power, and he got him eternal life. So if we do the same thing that he did, guess what we'll get? Power and eternal life. That's why you come in and hit at the bar. So that way you can get it. Because without him, you can't do nothing. How do Yahuah? That's my turn.
You are listening to Dr. Evie.